Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well, guys, I received this from a subscriber that's been part of the family for a long time, and just saying, did you see this? So this is from apparently it's from Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, and it says, to be as concise and succinct as possible, I must implore everyone who sees this to do all the following as quickly as possible. Stockpile food, water, and the means to acquire, purify, much, much more. Prepare for an imminent situation that may impact us all coast to coast. So, why should we care, if it's just a person, just a random nobody? That's the big question. Is this a random nobody? Well, again, this is the same message here, and this is taken from disclose.tv feed. Now, Dr. Peter Pry is the Executive Director of the Task Force on National and Homeland Security and Director of the U.S. Nuclear Strategy Forum, both congressional advisory boards, and served on the Congressional EMP Commission, the Congressional Strategic Posture Commission, the House Armed Services Committee, and the CIA. And so he's the author of books Blackout Wars, Apocalypse Unknown, and Electric Armageddon. And, he's a legit person, without a doubt. And, he's an Amazon author. He's put out quite a few books, as it's saying there. And this is more about Dr. Pry and his services. So, obviously, very rich background. Was an intelligence officer with the CIA, responsible for analyzing Soviet and Russian nuclear strategy, operational plans, military doctrine, threat perceptions, and developing U.S. paradigms for strategic warning. That was from 85 to 95. Also served as a verification analyst at the U.S. Arms Control and Disarmament Agency, responsible for assessing Soviet compliance with strategic and military arms control treaties, 84 to 85, and written numerous books on national security issues. Been on Fox News, has talked all about losing the grid. We've had so much going on in regards to that. We've had Homeland Security coming out and saying every American should be able to live on their own for 6 months without the help of the government and without the grid. And so, we've had a lot of these warnings. Of course, many people are out there saying things are imminent. So the question is, these tweets, these statements look legit. He's made these type of statements in the past. Of course, the words here are imminent situation that may impact us all coast to coast. And, as we've been saying, many people think something is imminent, and a lot of sources are saying this. And so, is this really him saying this, or is there somebody else saying this and making it look like it's him? I haven't been able to determine. I'm sure more info will be coming out, although he has definitely said these type of things, not necessarily that there is something imminent on the horizon, but that we should prepare in this way, and that it's almost an inevitability. And he's talked about EMPs. I can't remember the video I was watching, because of course I get like 1,000 recommendations a day on, you gotta watch this video, you gotta watch that video, and I try to get in as many as I can, and then ask others that are starting to help me with this type of endeavor with the channel here to look at ones as well. And it was interesting because I was watching this YouTube channel, which I haven't seen before, and she was showing some feeds and showing some energy blasts that were coming in and hitting the planet. And it looked like something you would see on Soho, but it wasn't Soho. But it was interesting because these blasts came in on the 2nd and the 3rd of January, and they looked very, very impactful, to say the least. And then a lot of people were talking about this channeled message as well, coming in about Pleiadians. And so let me just jump over here real quick. And this is basically the message that came through, and a lot of people will automatically dismiss anything that's channeled. which I did as well back in the 80s. But when a lot of stuff that were coming through as channeled messages in the late 80s really started to come down the line and come true exactly as told, it was pretty amazing. And I started to notice this in the mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000. There was more and more things that were talked about through these channeled messages that were just becoming perfectly accurate as time went on. And so this was posted on December 30th, and this is also talking about waves of energy that are going to come in the next few days. And basically it was the same time frame as that energy came in that was shown on that one YouTube channel. And I got to apologize, guys, I have not been able to find that channel and the links to it. So I don't have that for you guys yet, but somebody might remember seeing it. But it was interesting because basically, again, is something imminent. That's the big thing, is there's something imminent. So if this is the real Dr. Peter Pry, as he's warned of threats in the past. As you see here, this right here, Dr. Pry warns of EMP threat in light of North Korea nuclear crisis. So is he somebody that cries wolf? Perhaps, but of course the guy's got credentials. The guy worked for the feds and he works for Homeland Security. So we should pay attention to him. And one of his books was EMP Manhattan Project. And so this is his Facebook. And I'll have the links for you on this as well. And you could go through and look at it. And this is interesting because many of you might remember, if you've been with the channel for a while, Asia, who basically, going back about 10 months ago, was talking about in 2019, in September, she had received the message, again, channeled message, which again, many people will automatically discount, and that's fine. Everybody has to make their own mind up. But basically that there would be something ignited over the Dakotas, like a missile or something along those lines, that would cause an EMP and take out the grid. And so she saw that in this year, but happening around September, October. And so I have talked to her about coming back on, because she's been very accurate in what she has told us, and we did numerous shows together. And so she was seeing that for the September-October timeline, which honestly is what my gut has always been, as far as when things really do progress to the level where we do have an attack on the U.S. And as I've shared with a lot of you guys, if you've been with me a while, I've even done some videos on it. I've had dreams about this all my life, and so I've dreamt many times about the attack on the U.S. that I really truly feel is going to happen in our lifetimes, and I feel it's very close. And this is just my intuition and the dreams that I've had. So when anything like this comes up, I pay close attention. And so we also have going on, besides this warning, this is Greg Rubini. And so according to Greg Rubini, basically the trials are happening now, and many people have talked about this. Military tribunals started yesterday, January 2nd, 2019. And so many people are saying it's on. It's definitely on. These tribunals, these sealed indictments are actually starting to be unsealed. And, you're actually having some tribunals. There are people that noticed and thought that certain individuals at George Bush Sr.'s funeral were actually showing signs of, stress and stuff, not related to necessarily the funeral, but, related to the fact that they were going to be soon participants in these military tribunals that supposedly started on the 2nd, according to Greg Rubini. Now, doing some research into this photo is actually an old photo from back in 2014. So, whether he knew he was using a stock photo and realized this photo is from 2014 and this is not an actual photo of the ongoing tribunals is one thing, or if this means that it's totally bunk, then again, it's something for each to decide on their own. But I just wanted to make you guys aware of some of these things that are going on. Now, we also have over here President Trump saying he may declare a national emergency to build the wall. And so this is basically newer information coming out mere minutes after ABC News published a report claiming that the Trump administration had considered declaring a national emergency to circumvent Congress and start construction on the rest of President Trump's border wall. President Trump confirmed as much during a raucous White House press conference on Friday. And after saying that the federal government could use eminent domain to secure land for the wall, and my stomach just flipped. Because we've been talking about this, spent a beautiful afternoon with some Evolutionary Energy Arts family, and actually with a lovely couple. And he has been a subscriber to the channel back when the channel had 1,200 people. And great people, and I want to thank you so much for a wonderful afternoon and very informative and interesting, great company. So we were talking about stuff like this, and there have been so many laws pushed through, and much of them in the Obama administration, executive orders where, besides eminent domain, property could be seized, people could actually be put to work. In order, it theoretically could actually be sent and put to work, basically slave labor when you get down to it, in certain circumstances under certain conditions, such as national emergencies. Pretty scary situation. So right here, absolutely, we can call a national emergency. I haven't done it yet. I may do it. We can call a national emergency and build it very quickly. Interesting. There's so much stuff going on at the same time here. And then President Trump threatening to keep government closed for months or years. Can you see where this is building to? Things are building to a head here. You can see this, guys. And so whether you're believing in the tweet or apparent tweet from Dr. Peter Pry or not, still good reason to make sure you have plenty of food, plenty of water, plenty of basics, and are able to stay holed up in home or at a family or friend's place for a prolonged period of time, just in case. There's too much going on to just throw this out and discount it. And this is Julia Ainsley. And so, senior administration official tells me lawyers from the Pentagon, DHS, and White House are working out the details over how the president could declare a national emergency to use the DOD to build his wall, bypassing Congress. And so she is a national security justice reporter for NBC News, following the DOJ, DHS. So, what do you guys make of this? I take this as basically it's time to make final preps regardless. If you haven't yet, definitely go to that next level and just be aware, that circumstances can be changing very quickly, and just, keep your ears and eyes peeled, my friends. And let's connect with each other. Let's support each other. Let's let each other know what we're thinking we're going to do in case of emergency, and, extended family, friends, your loved ones, wake up the people that are totally asleep here, because, some people are going to be in for a real shock if they don't pay attention to any of this. They don't go to any truther channels. They don't pay attention to anything but the mainstream. They're going to be in for a big shock when stuff does actually fully come down, which, could be imminent. So as always, my friends, thumbs up to support the channel. Please do subscribe, click the bell, get all notifications, share with as many as possible. Let's wake everybody up. It's time to wake up, guys. Rise and shine now. Thank you guys always for your comments, your suggestions, and for pulling together and being positive and lifting each other up. God bless, my friends. Namaste.